Greetings, family. Welcome to another episode of Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. I want to say, my family, that in the last week or so, I've not been well, so I have not been posting much on the podcast. Matter of fact, I hadn't posted anything in about over a week now. Just want to let you know that the reason for that is because I was not well. But a lot has transpired, and it's a lot that I would like to cover. But one of the things that I wanted to cover and I wanted to attend was the UK Reparations Conference that took place on the 27th of October. Because I was not well enough to attend, I did listen on the live on the online, Zoom, all those type of medium now, the videoing from in the conference, and I got a sense of how the day went and the speakers that spoke. So yeah, but I wanted to highlight it even before the day to kind of like get our people informed about the reparation conference taking place here in the UK. It was a successful conference. Many of the MPs, the black MPs in the UK, participated. People like Diane Abbott, people like Ben Ribeiro, Andy. They were some of the essential people in organizing the campaign. Also, the Stop the Mangamizi campaign were represented. Sister Esther Stanford Osei, she spoke, passionately about movement capture, about remaining steadfast, about our mission. And one of the mission is in the UK is to create the all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry for truth and reparative justice. And she reminded everyone that the objective is not being pursued, and that we need to get back to the foundation of what the all-party parliamentary group, was established to accomplish. Let me give you a backdrop in case you're not aware. In the UK, there's a reparation movement that's been going on for a while now. It has been over a decade of street protests, decades of campaigning, hundreds of years of non-stop, unrelenting struggle for the freedom and liberation of African people. And this struggle continued in the UK, and it continued. It was picked up by Bernie Grant in the form of the African Reparation Movement, and it was, continued with many organizations in the UK. Within the last 10, 15 years or so, you had organizations ranging from the Stop the Mangamizi campaign to the Global African Congress to PARCO, and many other reparation organizations kept the campaign alive. And the formation of the African Emancipation Day Reparation March, that was a pivotal moment, and it helped to intensify, it helped to galvanize, it helped to keep informing our people of the need for reparation in this country. And, as a result of that, from that constant engagement year in and year out, many progress has been made on that front. And one of the demand from the Stop the Mangamizi campaign was for the establishment of the all-party Parliamentary Commission of Inquiry for Truth and Reparative Justice. And in that regards, the all-party parliamentary group was eventually established due to the lobbying by the Stop the Mangamizi campaign of various political entities in this country, particularly the lobbying of Ribeiro Ben Bella, Ribera Andy, and she took up the cause, and she was able to, gather MPs from every party, because it's an all-party group, and the birth of the all-party parliamentary group for African reparation was formed. The Stop the Mangamizi campaign is the one of the secretariat, and also the Afford organization is also a co-secretariat of the group. So the Stop the Mangamizi campaign continued to be a force within that formation, within that entity that was created. And last year, I mean, if I can go, this is not a comprehensive review of what have happened in the last 10, 15 years, because there have been, motion passed in Bristol to support the reparation movement, to support the call for the all-party parliamentary commission of inquiry. It was also passed in Islington. It was also passed in Lambeth. The Green Party was involved. Many Labour councillors and MP were involved in a lot of these motions that was passed. So that's some of the progress that was made from all of the street protests, the marching, the campaigning, the lobbying of Parliament. So a lot of behind the scene work took place. A lot of allyship took place as well. So it culminated in last year. Now we had the first annual UK Reparations Conference, and that was a 2-day conference, and that was a very successful conference. I attended. I documented, for the 2 days, many of what took place in terms of it was a pictorial documentation, because I'm also a professional photographer, so I was able to provide that service and document that event. But this year I was not well enough to attend, because I do have an underlying health issue that is not an issue at this moment. I'm not something I want to highlight right now. But that was a situation, and so I didn't attend, but my spirit was there, and I definitely would have liked to have broadcast and made a few podcasts from there, maybe interview a few of the presenters of the conference. But it was a successful conference from all accounts, and there was great presentation by Professor Gus John, anybody who know the scholar activists them in this country, and obviously Kofi Klue was one of the instrumental organizers there, and amongst others. So well done. I know that Nana Kweko Bansu also attended, and a representative from the Galaxy Radio contingency were also in attendance. The feed forward that I received was that it needed to be 2 days. It needed to be longer, because there was so much to cover in a conference of that magnitude. But nonetheless, many issues were covered, and there are videos going out. I think Ubuntu Dunya TV have put together some of the speeches and the presentation that went on that are coming out, and I have been sharing them on WhatsApp. If you are affiliated with my WhatsApp, with my any of the groups that I'm in, you'd have received some of the clippings from me. Also, I know that Kibonga Media, which was formerly Got Kush TV, they're also producing presentation from that. They're producing media pieces covering many of the speeches. So I've been sharing from both angles, both sources, both platforms, who are helping to spread the message and of the reparation movement in this country. So yeah, I'm pleased with that. You know what I mean? I have my critique of the organizing and the planning of the conference. I thought that leading up to the conference was one of my greatest critique, is that I felt that the information and the awareness and the publicity of the conference could have been more comprehensive, could have been more intentional, and it could have been pushed into the grassroots more. And the grassroots could have been invited way before it was announced to participate. And I think that that place, that building would have been packed if the people in the community had been informed consistently, constantly on all platforms to get them to come out and support this conference. Even though it was well attended, I think it could have been filled to the rafters, because the demand and the desire for reparation is very high in this country, But unfortunately, we don't get the media attention and the press attention to the issue of reparation, and that is something that I think that the all-party parliamentary group has to focus on, is on the publicity, the marketing, the spreading of the idea and the information about what is going on, and encouraging people to participate. That is something that has to be addressed. I mean, it was something that we faced with when we had the African Emancipation Day Reparation March Committee. It was not an easy task to mobilize and organize the people, but you still have to try. You have to use various medium to reach the people, So I think maybe a media team need to be created to help to publicize the activities of the all-party parliamentary group, and also to encourage the community to lobby the MPs, which I've seen pieces. I'm on the mailing list, so I get information from them. So, I'm encouraging our people who listen to this to register with them. It's the APPG hyphen AR, which is the all-party parliamentary group for African reparation. And it's a .org. You can go and search on Google and just register with them. Just contact them, give them your email address, and you will be a part of the contact list. So when anything goes out, you will be informed. Also, you can also check with the Stop the Mangamizi campaign, and they can provide you with information as well. You can contact them at stopthemangamizi.com, and you can get information from that website and contact details where you can contact them, and they'll put you on the mailing list and also keep you informed. I know that this is how many in the movement expecting the community to just seek out and find the information and get involved, but it's not always the case, because the day-to-day struggles of life gets in the way. So we have to make it easy on both sides, the organizers to reach out to the community, and the community also need to reach out to the organizers and ensure that they are on track, and ensure that we keep a check and balance, that they are representing our best interests. So it is a balanced approach that we have to take as a community. So make no mistakes about that. So that was some of my concern, was that the community would not inform well enough in time and consistently enough on various platforms, so they can be engaged and involved in the UK Reparations Conference. That was my main concern. And hopefully the organizers them in the future will do something about that, to reach out to the people earlier in the process, so they can prepare themselves and get involved. Yeah, so that was that. And also, what's going on as well now is the election in America with, it seems to be a dead heat between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, which in my personal opinion, Donald Trump represents the worst of America. He represents that part of America that is so mean-spirited and so despicable, that conquest, that whole deplorable and abhorrent character, the worst in the American people, is what he represents. And I find it to be strange on a personal, on a human level, to see anyone would vote for somebody so vile, so racist, so vulgar, and it just doesn't cut it for me in terms of leadership. I don't understand how anyone in any leadership would even select Donald Trump to run a dog club, or even, I don't know. I wouldn't select him to run anything, even animal shelter, a zoo. I just couldn't see him running anything with that character, with that kind of personality. I don't get it. I don't see what people see in this character. Maybe there's something that I'm missing, and I'm under no illusion about capitalism and imperialism. Both forces, the Democrat and the Republican in America, they both represent the capitalism. They both represent imperialism. They both represent colonialism. Both political party. None of them are there to liberate African people and to deliver us from the calamity that we are faced today. None of them are pledged to deal with the issue of reparation, which is desperately needed for African people, so we can get on with our healing, get on with our development as a people. So I'm not under no misgiving. But just on a human level, just a comment on it on a human level, I don't see how anybody can even think about supporting a character like Donald Trump. This is the raw attitude of imperialism. This is the caricature of imperialism in this time, in real time, talking to us, speaking to us in the manner that millions of people are following. Millions of people are getting behind this type of rhetoric. That is the sadness of this moment, to know that there are so many millions who would support such a character. That for me is the sadness of this time, is the sadness of this moment. And I just hope that African people don't get caught up in this foolishness. You know what I mean? And there's no way. I mean, the comment that was made about our Haitian brothers, that should have been conclusive right there. Accusing them of eating the neighbors' cats and dogs. I mean, that you don't get no deplorable than that. You don't get no more racist than that. You know what I'm saying? And supporting that. And recently with the big festival or carnival of hate and racism and bigotry and all that took place at Madison Square Garden, that was just a madness. They had speakers on there calling Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. I mean, how low, how despicable, how insensitive can you be towards your fellow human being? Just on that level alone, no one should even be considering this man. This election should be a blowout. It should be an embarrassment to him. He should be insulted. He should be taught a valuable lesson about being a decent human being. But I'm realizing that, so many people feed into this negativity, feed into this frequency of hate, the frequency of bigotry, the arrogancy of white supremacy. A lot of people, millions in America, feed into this anti-immigrant, anti-African sentiment. And it is sad. And it is one of the saddest things of this moment to know that there are people like this. Normally, imperialism will come wrapped up in gifts and wrapped up in perfumes and try to present themselves as some kind of decency or some kind of, moral force. But in this case, they're not even pretending anymore. They're showing what they are. Because imperialism cares nothing about the people of this world. They care nothing about the working people. All they can care about is the maximization of their profit. It's the domination of the world. is to increase their power and their influence. And now when they're wrapped in white supremacy, there's also a cultural war, an identity war, that they need to maintain their culture, their views, their perspective of the world must become the dominant perspective through their media and through their educational system. So now imperialism now is wrapped into this package now, where you find in America they're banning books, they're teaching the truth about history and trying to keep the society traditionally white, keep all of the tradition of white supremacy and Europeans at the center, and keep everyone else at the margin, marginalized. And there's a threat that non-white people are coming to take over America, and there's a threat that they have to protect themselves from being overrun with the browning of America, with the idea that black people and non-European people are coming in, and you hear they talk about blood and mixing the blood and contaminating the blood of the Europeans in America. So that is an element, that racist element is mixed up in all this politics. But essential in all this politics is the economic domination, is to hold on to their wealth and their power. Because there's a fear that when the working people unite, when people become aware that this society belongs to the working people who have created the trillions of dollars in wealth and that they deserve better, then all hell will break loose. So we just have to keep these things in mind as we analyze these things, you know what I mean? But definitely, Donald Trump is a no-starter. For any decent human being, he should not even be considered in our conversation, to be honest with you. And so those are the two issues that mainly took place, during the time, and I really wanted to comment on, but I was not well enough to comment. But yeah, my people, I will continue to bring you more episode of clear thinking on many of the subjects. Reparation is my number one topic. It is something that is passionate and I'm passionate about. It's something that is personal to me, and that is how I'm going to make my contribution in this world, in the liberation of African people, is through the reparation struggle. And that's where I've been in the last 10 or so years, is engaged in the reparation struggle. And I've gained some experience and I've gained some insight, and I've worked with some good people, and I'm hoping that I can bring that kind of clarity, that kind of wisdom, that kind of knowledge that I've gained to the masses with these podcasts. So yes, I want to thank you very much for listening to this podcast, and I do encourage you to like, subscribe, and I will continue to try to improve the podcast, get it better, focus on relevant topics, focus on topics that we are faced with, and bring clarity to. Maybe next week I will touch on this new leader of the Conservative Party. I think her name is Kemi, and give some analysis on that. So I want to keep it relevant, and hopefully I can start to do interview as well, interview interesting people who have contributed to our liberation struggle over the years. So that is some of my challenge, my people, and I want to thank you once again for listening to Clear Thinking with Brother Dulani. Walk good, my people. Respect every time.